doing an amazing job on that tracer. So it looks like we're going to Village for our first point here on Nepal. Movistar Riders just 1 point away from moving on to the finals.
Okay, so it looks like Movistar Riders going to be switching things up just a little bit. So maybe not seeing the mirror comps just yet, but they've got the Zarya to Finzi. They got Swoosh playing Diva, and they got Colsey on Winston. So a very tanky lineup here, but with no Ana. So any damage you do here to Misfits kind of sticks for a little bit longer than obviously Movistar would like to see. And Misfits will be running the double DPS, the 2-2-2, with Manatee over on the Diva.
Here we'll see if Finzi can do a better job of trying to build up his Graviton Surge a little bit quicker than he did on Route 66. I mean, there is Manatee on that Diva there for him trying to farm it off of. He's currently at 15% so far. I haven't been able to see the barriers, how he's been using those so far, but Logic's facing off against Tavik once again on the high ground as the recall. He does have to back off. Colsey gets that first frag on to reinforce.
Finzi's at about 75 energy too. Like, this man has been able to get a lot of these bubbles up at the right time, and he's taking advantage of Mantis on the Diva. Obviously, Zarya counters Diva so strongly, and you build up a lot of extra ult percent. He's already at 44%. Not too bad for himself at all, but there's always the potential for him to build up a little bit more energy. The problem is he's now gone down. The point's been unlocked for quite a long time here. We've had double sound barriers come out from both teams, trying to really contest this one, trying to get this first fight in their side.
Yeah, just awkward positioning coming out from Movistar Riders there as Finzi was just caught off from the rest of his supports. If he could have just stayed alive with that 70 energy, it could have been huge, but now Logix and Colsey going forward. Transcendence is going to be used by Movistar Riders, and the point still hasn't even been taken.
Finzi actually did drop. He switched over to Soldier, so he dropped the 50% ultimate he had built up because they realized they want this Soldier played. Now, the difference of how that fight happened was that Misfits didn't have a trance. Zebasai didn't have it up in time to deal with it at the same time Dante did. However, what's good for Misfits is that they will have trance, and Dante won't when it comes to Nevix using his Dragon Blade. So Misfits, yeah, they get the first initial capture, but they have all the tools in the kit they need to actually shut this one down. It's just whether or not Nevix can hit these shots, get these blades off the right targets.
Yeah, that's a hard engage coming out from Misfits so far. Nevix gets the deflect kill onto Dante with then, like you had just mentioned, they didn't have the Transcendence to try and counter it, but Movistar Riders already have 28-29 on the board as Misfits are slowly starting to clean them up. Logix does finally answer, taking out Zebasai, but too little too late as Tavik, once again on this Tracer, cleaning up Swoosh here. They're doing a really good job of actually delaying so far on the point.
Yeah, another, what, 10-15% built up for themselves, which obviously does allow Misfits to build up a lot of extra percent. Oh, that was cheeky if you can pull that one off. Pretty sure you can. Maybe just realize we don't have the time to do it. Doesn't want to be spotted out, but you can see him. He's being a lot more aware, though. I've never really seen Tavik have to play to this kind of awareness to deal with another Tracer. He's expecting Logix to come from these odd angles because Logix, for the most part, has been able to deal with them. That self-destruct's going to be in a really good position. And Mineral, the Lucio player, is going to go down to the self-destruct.
Yeah, spying them out on the high ground. Swoosh was able to get that in there, so now they've got the 6v5 advantage. Logix drops down low. Doesn't have his recall. He's already down to 20 HP, but he does force back to Vic. Now Finzi finds the kill onto Nevix. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange on the point so far as Finzi pushes forward. He's so close to his tactical visor, but they've largely already won the fight on the side of Movistar Riders.
Yeah, they haven't taken the point back, so we're actually seeing a tie-up in percentages here. But eventually they will cap it over, as you can see Misfits just try to stall for as long as they can. But they actually have a lot of people here still. They have to make a pulse move who could come up huge. Now Zebasai already going down. It does give the man advantage over to Movistar Riders, and they just keep snowballing this advantage one by one, picking up kill after kill, and they continue to push out, solidify the last few, and really put their dominance down on this first point.
Yeah, now ultimate advantage in favor of Movistar Riders. They've got the tactical visor, they've got the sound barrier along with the Transcendence and the Pulse Bomb. Misfits are coming up on a few of their own also.
Yeah, but Misfits are really dependent on these offensive ultimates out of Tavik and Nevix to be what wins them these fights. But when you have Dante with the trance ready to counter Nevix with the blade, it can shut it down. The problem is, Dante, I think, got focused down. He uses trance a little bit earlier on, and now Nevix has the possibility to use his blades. He takes Dante down. Zebasai there just to back up to make sure he stays healthy. At this point, we'll definitely turn back to Misfits.
They're doing a good job of stalling, though. Nevix was actually hiding Finzi was just hiding in the corner, trying to be as stealthy as possible. 77% on the side for Movistar Riders. Before they flip it, they got a lot of ultimates out from the Misfits, though.
Yeah, they did. They really did. I think Misfits just wanted to solidify that point, and they're gonna be fighting like, an upward on an upward slope, fighting uphill. My puns, my analogies are just off the board today. They're so terrible.
So close with them.
I'm almost there. But that's 6 coming on to Finzi. That's to get that initial kill.
Yeah, we had Swoosh try to go for that self-destruct once again, but it did not connect this time. And now Tavik really coming alive. Finding 2 kills there, taking out Neptuno. Logix tries to answer in kind, but it's still not quite enough yet for Movistar Riders. Misfits, just one more team fight to win this first point.
Uphill battle. That's what I was looking for here, Jamerson. I got there eventually. That's all that matters, right? But we do have the tac visor ready. Manson does have a self-destruct, and this goes back to what you talked about before, right? If you self-destruct, you can't defense matrix, and that gives a great opportunity for them to fight, but they don't even need it. Actually, they're not going to get the tac visor off because Nevix hits himself a double kill with the swift strike, and with Movistar now in overtime, the respawn's going to come in slower. Misfits still have not lost a single man on point, and Misfits looking strong to pull his first point in their favor.
Yeah, this is going to be easy cleanup. We even got that Dragon Blade coming out from Nevix, but Finzy's just going to go ahead and jump off the ledge there. Misfits walk away with the first point here on Nepal.
All right, so looking good for Misfits again, Movistar. Thing is, like, I would rather see Finzy play the D.Va and keep Swoosh on the Genji than run Genji, Tracer, D.Va, instead of seeing Swoosh have to go from the big damage to their playmaker to have to play like a D.Va who obviously wants to play aggressive with, but sometimes you need to play defensive. So just a little bit of differences in compositions. I think Finzy can play D.Va, but it kind of shows the mindset of what they wanted to run for that first point.
I think more often than not, when they do swap off from Swoosh's D.Va, it's Logix that picks it up, from what I can remember from Take. But now we are on to Sanctum, and it is just going to be mirrored compositions, triple DPS coming out from both sides.
Yeah, so the first fight's really going to show how this game's going to go. Here you can see Tavik, he's trying to go for the flank. Off towards the side, get some early damage in. Has to be very careful as a recall, though. He only has a small window to really use it, or else he's just going to fall into the pit of death. But they get the high ground control initially, and now he's waiting to go in directly behind them here. I don't believe he's been spotted out, but look at this. They're allowing Movistar to get aggressive, which allows Tavik to get an easy flank here, directly to Dante. That's going to be him and Nevix pairing together to take down Finzy too. That's what you want to see out of Misfits. That's how you play this dive comp in tandem well to DPS.
There was almost no delay on that whatsoever. As soon as he spotted him out, you saw Nevix jump right on top of him. Great communication coming out from Misfits here, and they're really starting to come alive here on Nepal.
Let's see, point still hasn't been captured though. You can see Logix trying to buy some time, and eventually, I would imagine he should fall here, but he's got backup coming in. Swoosh there to join him. Logix will go down to Manatin. But Reinforce, they've lost their big front tank line. But eventually, Misfits do capture the point, but at what cost? They've lost out quite a few people here, and they might take the point, yes, but for only a couple seconds.
Yeah, 6%, 7% ticking on up as they are starting to clean up. It's Finzy with that Soldier 76, and now Swoosh with the dash reset gets that kill onto Mineral. So Misfits are only able to secure 14% there, and they committed an ultimate into it with that pulse bomb.
Let's see, Zebasite 80%, Dante 70% on Trances, Swoosh, and Nevix. Kind of similar in terms of ult percent. This game's going to come down to who can bait out or who can force out the Trance early. You see Reinforce again, trying to dive in really deep here. Finzy up to the side, though, has no pressure against him, so he's going to have the opportunity to pick up a lot of free damage. That pulse bomb's come in. It actually forced Zebasite to use his Transcendence to stay alive here. Now Swoosh is going to be looking like, all right, free kills for me here.
Yeah, Dante is going to use that himself, but oh, huge pickup coming on out as Zebasite gets the frag onto Finzy, so he's not going to be able to use that tactical visor, and that allows Misfits to fight right back into this. Dragon Blade out for Nevix. He's only got one kill so far, taking out Dante, but that might have just been enough as we only got this Tracer here. Orb of Discord on her. She's going to go down. Neptuno thought of trying to jump on over, try and contest, but Movistar Riders will lose that point at 43%.
Well done by Misfits, actually, to even though not have Transcendence, to still deal with Swoosh having that blade available. I think Reinforce is able to get on top of him directly to really get that damage in onto him and force him to play a little bit more defensive than he wants to play with the blade out. But nonetheless, Misfits are trying to build this ult percent. They have quite a few ultimates to use, but with Mineral going dropping, they've lost their sound barrier. And it looks like Movistar are going to swarm over this point.
Yeah, Logix had that flank. He's forcing them into the cubby portion here as Tavik is able to get the pulse bomb kill onto Dante. But during that time, Movistar Riders flip the point. Now it's being contested by Misfits.
Nevix getting some good support out of Reinforce. Their sound barrier going to be popped out of Mineral. Keep everyone healthy so they have a chance to take this point back here. As again, Manson Nevix able to chime back in, picking up those kills. Eventually, Movistar will fall one by one. So really hectic fight so far between these two teams. It's basically a bloodbath. Both these teams really want to pick this match, and for Movistar, it's a rematch from TakeOver, and for Misfits, it's a chance to really solidify that, yes, maybe TakeOver, what they were doing was a little bit of a fluke, and maybe they've worked past the problems that they've had at that time.
Been a short week though to make these adjustments, and Movistar Riders, they've got a lot to prove. You know, they won 2 back-to-back big European tournaments, and they want to be able to remain like the top dogs so far in EU. But Misfits are giving them a go for it so far. Movistar Riders regrouping in the makeup room, but Tavik with that crucial kill onto Neptuno are going to slow them down.
Yeah, it's going to force the reset here, so it's going to get Misfits to about 80-85% before they have to force another fight. But Nevix, He's got his blade. He has a small window to work with here with Dante at 95% on his trance, but that window is basically gone now as we're finally seeing Movistar groove up and try to go back in. So again, can Tvix stick Dante, maybe force out the trance early? It looks like he's not able to. It's actually already fallen here.
Yeah, and the Dragon Blade does come out from the side of Movistar Riders. Swoosh already picking up 2 kills. And they might have just done it. Misfits don't need to commit any more ultimates into this. They do have another fight, maybe 2 fights left in them as Logic cleans up Manitin there at the end.
All right, so you see Misfits really banking on maybe Tvik hitting Dante there, who again positioned themselves really well. I think Dante and Neptune were actually working really well as a support core for the team, trying to keep each other alive, really realizing when the help needs to be there. As well as Finzi, trying to stick to Dante to give him that biotic field and heal him up whenever he does need. But Logic's coming around. He's looking for the win side. I think he's looking for a reinforce ideally here. But those are 2 initial kills coming through. Movistar Riders have no response to it.
Yeah, Nevix was just right on top of Finzi that entire time. Takes him out of the equation. They're just winning these teamfights so handily. Now Reinforce getting the jump kill onto Logic's 97-98, and there's no one from Movistar Riders to even get close. That's going to be the second point for Misfits, and they're just 1 point away from tying it up in this best-of-3 series.
So I don't want to get ahead of myself here, Jamerson, but there's an opportunity we're going to be going to a 3rd map in this series, and that's going to be onto Assault. And both these teams pride themselves on how well they can do on Assault. I know Misfits said, or Tvik said to me, yeah, they practice Assault a ton. They realize it's a game mode that teams really need to be able to play and play well, because it's going to be played a lot more often in the way these formats are set up, and you have to know how to play that game mode. You can't, you know, expect to win without being able to play everything equally. And same for Movistar, they actually put a lot of pride in themselves in how they've been able to perform on those maps, especially with their Tuno being able to flex over to Sombra. It's very likely we could have something like that happen. But still, Misfits need to win this map here before we can even get to that point. So maybe we're a little bit ahead of ourselves, or I'm a little bit ahead of myself. And we're seeing Movistar react with a little bit of a different comp. Finzi running the Zarya again.
Yeah, Finzi going for that Zarya again, and that allowed them to win that initial fight when they were on Village. But they just were having trouble closing that on out. Swoosh, deflect down, has to be careful as the Winston is right there in front of him. It's going to be Nevix that takes out Finzi, and so with the tank line gone, with the damage mitigation gone, Misfits are now cleaning house.
Misfits looking good here. I actually personally thought Koth was going to be one of their weaker game modes. Control a little bit difficult for them, especially with the communication problems maybe they're having within the team. But either way, the initial hold, they still haven't been able to pick the point just yet because they want to, you know, solidify these kills before they do it. Build that extra 0%. Manitin having a pretty good game on Soldier, actually. Been hit a lot of these Helix rockets, and his tracking has been on point. And Tvik just, he's not having a good time here on Trace. He's not able to get these blinks the way he wants to.
Oh, misses that jump once again, but this time it helps him spot out Logix, and Logix will be able to get that mega health pack, starting to win this trade so far. Hasn't forced out the recall quite yet, but he has the backup of his team. So smart the way Logix is playing that too, because he got the health pack right away to have that advantage, and they immediately started fighting Tvik towards the other health pack, so he didn't have to use his recall. And you saw Tvik there at 60 HP, but he wants to keep his recall, because in a Tracer v Tracer battle, whoever recalls first is probably going to lose. Oh, Reinforce drops first to Finzi, who had swapped off onto Soldier 76, and that's going to be a two-man pulse bomb coming off from Logis, and he has been getting so much value off these pulse bombs so far. With that, Movistar Riders will flip the point, but Misfits have already gotten 37%.
Swoosh has Blade ready to go too. Zebasai, he'll have his trance in time. I would imagine we're going to see Swoosh come in that early. Still, it's going to be very tough, I think, for Movistar to keep this momentum up with just them being 2-0 down. Obviously, they have the potential to pull this one back, but it's been a long day for both these two teams, and you start to have these little mistakes happen, and those little mistakes snowball into bigger mistakes. But we've seen the push coming out of Misfits, pop an attack visor, and we did have Swoosh use the Blade. But Zebasai immediately responds with a trance, so not really going to accomplish too much off that. Yeah,
Manitin used that in response to Swoosh's Blade, so he's not going to get anything of it whatsoever. Misfits with a great retake here, cleaning up the majority of Movistar Riders without losing a single member there, only using really 2 ultimates.
Yeah, and now they have Nevix with the Blade coming up. They've got Tvik setting up for a pulse bomb. Actually, are they going to go high ground or are they going to go main? It looks like they're going to be going main here. Tvik's been able to do this before. It'd be very sneaky. If he hits a pulse, if he sticks pulse bomb, it's basically a guaranteed one fight. Oh. I don't know what he just threw that into, but it wasn't a person, I'll tell you that. Maybe it was a wall. But still, he's applying the pressure from the backside. He's forced them to look in multiple directions, and Kosti jumps in without the support of his team.
Yeah, Kosti going down immediately. That's the tank for the side of Movistar Riders. Now they are re-engaging on the side of Misfits here. Logic's just trying his best to pepper them from the side, but that's going to allow Reinforce to get a second frag onto Dante, and now they're just pushing them back into their spawn. Our Misfits, they're one team fight away from sending this to map number 3.
Logic's still looking for a pulse bomb here. You can see he's just trying to I think he's trying to force the 1v1 fights against Tvik. Because Tvik has been playing a lot better sneaky beaky like. Where Logix has been playing better in general, just in the front and the forefront, trying to battle him out 1v1. We're gonna see his final push in come from Movistar. They have a lot of ultimates to use here too.
Now, Colsty, he does have that Primal Rage, so he can delay on the point for as long as he wants. They got the ultimate advantage too, and there we go. That's the man advantage as Neptuno finds the frag onto Maniton, but now that blade is gone as Dante. It's the supports coming up huge for Movistar Riders. Finzi getting free damage off with the Soldier 76. Now he's onto Zebasai here as he'll fall, and that's going to allow Movistar Riders, without really using any ultimates, other than the Pulse Bomb, to get that point.
That was like the most ideal retake for Movistar Riders. Like you said, they committed only a Pulse Bomb out of Logix, but with supports with Dante and Neptuno picking up those kills, they win without having to expend anything. And Control is all about ultimate control and ultimate management. And now with the fact they have 5 available, they can counter anything Misfits throws to them. Yeah, all right, you're gonna use a blade. All right, we have a trance. All right, you get a Pulse Bomb. Well, we have a Sound Breaker to protect that. It's gonna be very hard for a retake for Misfits here unless they force a lot of ultimates.
All right, Transcendence came out a little bit early, but there's the Dragon Blade on out from the side of Movistar Riders. Nevix was holding on to his until the Transcendence fizzled, but already damage done by Movistar Riders. They cleaned up 4 members of Misfits. Now time is starting to tick away. 70% on the board for Movistar as they win out that team fight.
And Misfits used practically everything they had there, except Tvik's Pulse Bomb. You got Finzi with attack fires. All you need to do is just get on high ground here, and then as long as you know, Tvik isn't there, you're gonna be able to have a strong start. Yeah, look at this. Great play out of this man to get on towards his position. And I'm gonna imagine when Colsty jumps from this area, they're not gonna expect a second person to be there, right? Which allows Finzi to just sit on that high perch and get so much damage in. Or maybe he's not gonna have an opportunity because we're seeing Misfits actually just pull back immediately once Movistar goes aggressive. They lost on 2 people here. Movistar, this was your fight to win.
Yeah, we saw them do this on Route 66 where they had like the better positioning, especially with the Soldier 76, Finzi on it. Doesn't matter though, as Misfits just had to go all out to try and get onto the point to try and contest. That allowed Finzi to get free damage off, and now it's coming down to it. It looks like Movistar Riders might take this to a 4th point here.
Oh, they're trying to hold on here. See Reinforce trying to come back into the point, trying to stall as long as he possibly can. Overtime is taken away. Reinforce use that Primal Rage. He's going to continue to stall here. But where's the backbite of Misfits? Is anyone even close? Mineral's finally able to join back in to at least give him some support, but they have no damage. They have no one even on the damn point. And that's Movistar taking us to a 4th map here on Nepal.
I was a little bit scared there when Movistar Riders went for that engage. They pushed out beyond the line of sight of Finzi, or excuse me, of Finzi on that Soldier 76. So even though he had that positioning, it might have gone to waste there. But because Misfits, at the end, they just had to make that mad dash onto the point, give up, you know, all sorts of positioning. They just got overwhelmed.
Finzi and Logix are playing as well as Swoosh and Logix together in terms of synergy. Like you saw Finzi, he got Zebasai low. Logix came in to clean him up. You saw him try to go for Mineral in the beginning. Then he had the backbite of Logix there to get some extra damage in. I think Movistar just really have such deep synergy between all the individual players that they're really a team that if you're not already looking out for them, you have to be careful of. Because if you underestimate this team, they're going to make you pay for it. But they still have a long way to go here to potentially pull off a 2-0. They have to take the next 2 points.
And now we're back onto Sanctum here. Misfits still sitting on map point. Logix gets the initial frag onto Madison. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange as the Tracers once again being really impactful. It's going to be Tvik though that picks up a double, taking out Dante. Now Nevix with a great deflect, just controlling the majority of Movistar Riders.
And Tvik did literally the same thing he did last time on this map. He flanked from the back, picked up some early kills, but it just doesn't matter, it seems, because Misfits have lost out on too many people. They're not going to get the initial capture at Movistar. Seems like they hit their 2nd win here, because they're really starting to perform well. They're really starting to play well together as a team and really starting to hit these focus targets down at the right times.
So Movistar Riders walk away with the point first. Already got 4%, but Misfits, Tvik, he's got that Pulse Bomb. He hasn't been landing the 2-3-man Pulse Bombs that we're used to seeing out of these high-impact Tracer players yet. Been largely Logix. We'll see if he can open it up with, though. As they push forward from the high ground, Colsty comes in, gets the kill onto Nevix as Madison now backing away. They do have the man disadvantage on the side of Misfits.
Yeah, you can see that Finzi, he's trying to hold on to his attack visor. They realize we could probably win this fight. They're trying to force us these ultimates. Let's not commit anything as he's able to take down Zebasai there at the last second. And Logix is still looking for more. He's still looking to keep applying this pressure on Tvik. Don't let this man get comfortable. And if you do that, you keep Misfits off balance. It's like a table with, 3 legs. It's just not really going to stand too well. And they really need Tvik to maybe deal with Logix a little bit more, or maybe him have a little bit of help with him and Nevix if they can focus down onto Logix.
Yeah, we saw earlier on that he was checking these angles, trying to predict where Logix was earlier on, and it still looks like he's playing a little bit more tentative as Swoosh pushes forward. He's got that Dragon Blade out, but it's going to be Tvik, lands the Pulse Bomb onto Finzi. Now they do have the Transcendence coming out from both sides here as the Primal Rage was used by Reinforce.
We're seeing the Soundbarrier being used as well here. I don't know, Tuna trying to keep them alive because we've had Nevix pop off the Dragon Blade, but it doesn't matter because Misfits are investing everything they have into this fight. We have the Tac Fighters are coming through as well, and Logix, he's just stalling for time. But hey, 75, 72% build up for them as Misfits finally do turn the tides. The Movistar still have ultimates to use.
Yep.
And by ultimates, I mean ultimate.
Ultimate. But the way these Tracer players play, Logix should have his soon along with Tvik, and this time Tvik was able to get it. Highly valuable kill onto Finzi, taking out that tactical visor. That just out of the equation allows you to go so much more aggressive. Now Misfits are going to push forward. Tvik gets the kill onto Dante and Finzi down again. Movistar Riders should just reset.
Well, you see that Tvik makes the call. Nevix, Reinforce both jump in. So does Tvik at the last second from a different angle and just collapse on them completely. They invested nothing into that fight. They get those crucial ultimates build up even more now. And I just wonder how much more is Movistar going to let Misfits keep doing this? How much longer are they going to let Tvik constantly hide around these corners and not check them? He's done the same initial start on this map twice against them now. And he's constantly around that corner to the left-hand side of Nevix here, just waiting for them to push up.
It's been a difficult read because I don't think they've actually been able to see it, right? The way the initial engagement starts off, it's Nevix jumping in and then Tvik going in afterwards. And so they might feel that Nevix is the initiator, the one that spots it all out. But it's actually been Tvik, like you had mentioned, just getting all this information for Misfits.
Oh, he's looking for that pulse bomb. You can see he's just trying to spot out on the Colsty. Wants to hit that easy target. He has every opportunity to do it here. Not to mention, Movistar is still delayed. They're still actually being very slow to push on towards this point. So that percent continues to tick up here. And Nevix has a blade ready to go. Dante, he's got no Transcendence to stop this one. As Reinforce is going to jump in there, force them into this tight area, into this room. And Swoosh is going to be the first one to pop.
And we have the Transcendence getting used by Zebasai, but it's a little too late as Logix comes in. Once again, another two-man pulse bomb. Nevix tries to answer in kind, though, picks up 3. Might have just equalized this, stabilized it for Misfits, but Logix will clean him up.
Oh, that was a big kill, too. And he's just somehow able to dodge away from Tvik. Reinforce is just going to jump in. He does get that point into overtime. They know they can potentially have the man advantage. As Manson here now off to the side is able to pick up that first initial kill. Even Miro somehow is able to chime in on the Colsty. The overtime is taken away here. Movistar, then he gets sold on the point. Swoosh, he's going to be the man to do it. But the Soundbarrier is going to be used on a miss just to stall as long as they possibly can. And Swoosh again is going to be the man to touch the point. But he needs backup. They need to start getting kills.
Yeah, now they're just getting cleaned up one by one. Misfits were able to do it off the back of Nevix. That was a huge Dragon Blade, picking up 3 kills, bought them enough time, and took enough people off the point that Misfits were just able to come in with Maniton and clean up and get that win. Misfits walking away with a 3-1 here on Nepal.
It's like the complete opposite of Takeover here, where Swoosh got play of the game every single time. Now it's Logix the one with these pulse bombs, time and time again, being consistent and consistently hitting these pulse bombs is never an easy thing to do as a Tracer, especially getting multi-man kills with it.
I mean, every pulse bomb I use personally is pretty much a multi-man kill.
I mean, when you're in bronze, it's easy to do, right?
I don't really know what the problem is. Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry. It's too
sad.
easy. If Mitch isn't here for me to make fun of, I have to pick someone,
Okay,
right?
I will be the pseudo-Mitch, the stand-in, so to speak, for this one, if it means we can watch more games like that, because that was a lot of fun, and this is the first one we've seen go to 3 here, at least this weekend, and these teams are just so closely matched up. And now you were going into Assault, so I mean, what are our expectations coming into that? I mean, these at the end of this one, they were both just playing that standard dive composition, just going mano a mano. And, I mean, we saw Tvik having standout plays on Tracer. Of course, Logic has been playing his mind out with his Tracer. Anything we could expect as far as switch-ups coming into Assault?
I think it comes down to the map.
Yeah.
If we're getting Temple of Anubis, I think we're going to see Sombra be a big factor, especially for Movistar Riders on attack and defense. Whereas Misfits, they don't really, I mean, I'm trying to think, Jamerson, they don't really run it as much. I know they have the possibility to, since Zebasai can easily flex over to that, since he has played DPS before for the team, but I don't know how much they've actually practiced with the Sombra.
I don't think they played it at all during Take.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They didn't, but Movistar Riders, them and E United, they were the ones that were most prevalent on that Sombra, bringing it out on different occasions. I mean, we even saw it on Hollywood. So they have fleshed out this strategy here, and we'll see if Misfits can actually deal with it. They did have to face off against, was it Cloud? Was it Cloud9?
Movistar had to play against Cloud9 and best of one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, and just looking at the statistics for the different Assault maps, Temple of Anubis was